I get to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's our global meeting and training seminar system, our GMTSS system. It's something I've personally been involved with for 20 years. When I started the business, and I ended up looking at a lot of different companies without ever doing one. My background had been in sales and sales training. One of the things I was looking for when I looked at this company was the training background. First thing I saw was we had standardized way of training. New on franchise owner training, basic 5 training, ECCT. As I looked at other companies, I saw no other company that did what we did in an open system. I got started building fast. Then one day I got a call from a lady named Marta Arkebauer. And Marta said, we got to organize some things. We got to make this a systematic way of doing it. We went to Marta's basement with about 30 of us. Some of you are here in the room right now. Norm and Mary Roth, Lynn Mitschke, Lisa, we sat together, and Marta said, okay, I need you to be the UBP coordinator. Now, I've been in the business about 6 months, UBP, business coordinator. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. What do I have to do? She's like, we'll figure it out as we do it. So I start doing that. 2 weeks later, I get a call from Marta, local coordinator just quit. Need you to be the local coordinator and the UBP coordinator. What do I have to do? We're going to figure it out as we go. She said, this guy, Phil Guido, he put together this incredible way to do things, and we'll just follow what Phil told us to do. So I followed it. I was local coordinator 7 years. I love this system. People ask me all the time, why are you so passionate about it? Because here's what I always think, what if we didn't have it? How would your businesses be if you didn't have this system to build nationwide with? I've held a position with the GMTSS now for 20 years. Why? Because I'm always protecting. I'm protecting our businesses. Because that's what it does, doesn't it? It allows us to grow and it allows us to protect by having it together. And for any of the leaders in this room, I'm asking you to step up and participate as well. To be one of those, whether it's on a council, whether it's on a local, whether it's as a UBP coordinator. Get the egos out of the way. Come in and support your teams. Because we all need to step in and do whatever we can and lend that experience to be able to do it. So I'm really doing a call for action on this. And, you know, as we take a look at what's happening with our GMTSS, I already mentioned why it's important, because if we didn't have it, can you imagine never having a meeting to send somebody to? If I knew somebody in Minneapolis, I couldn't send them to a meeting. If I knew somebody here in Miami, I couldn't send them to a meeting. This is a vital component to what we have, and it's something that we want everyone to take a good look at and think about. It really creates the tangible versus the intangible, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. When we get together, is something different when we're together like this? I mean, it changes everything. It's the assembly of the people being together. I came to my first World Conference 20 years ago. It was at the Knight Center. This is my 20th World at the Knight Center. Remember that, Dennis? 7,000 people. You know where I sat? With my back against the wall on the top floor, top seat up there. And I looked down, I said, you know what, man, these people are doing it. If they can do it, I can do it. I want to get into one of those front rows where these million-dollar people are sitting. And it gave me the belief that I could make this happen, because to me, belief is our number one product, isn't it? We can talk about everything else, but we need to have belief and we need to have faith in what we're doing. And seeing other people succeed gave that to me. Really what we want to do with the GMTSS is take what's old and make it new again. We want to make it an entrepreneurial spirit where we get people excited being part of it, where we look for new areas to grow in, where we make it something so that we can look on a system, and if there's somebody in Denver, we know something's going on in Denver. Where we can put this back the way we had it again. We've enhanced numerous things, but get it back to the way it can be so we can grow very, very fast. And really, again, I'm going to ask you to then be a part of this system. And I know a lot of the leaders do it. It's interesting, you know, over the last few months, Tony and Pam Bowling have stepped in and are now the regional directors of the Southeast region. James and Marion Kuo have stepped in at the Western. These are people who have been involved with the company for decades, have already done it once, and they're stepping back in to lend that support. And you know, David and Stacy Whited, you heard David earlier today. Donald Key doing the same thing in Canada. I mean, this is it's incredible to see the people coming back because we're going to make it great again. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it something that everyone's proud of, and we're going to go after it. And I want you to be more than a proponent. Do you know the difference? A component and a proponent. A proponent is someone who's excited. It's great. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to say yippee yahoo. Right, Tom? I knew you would relate to that. A component is somebody who's part of it. It's somebody who says, "Hey, what can I do to make it better?" You know, one of the things I've always believed is if you ever complain about anything, if you don't step in and be part of it, you really can't complain. Would you guys agree with that? So if there's anything that we can do better, we step in and we make it better. So for the leaders, I'm asking you to step back in. For the people who are newer to the business, I'm asking you to learn and ask, what can I do to be a part of this? What could I do to support this? For those of you who live in areas where we don't have a GMTSS, that's one of the things we want to take a good look at. We want you to let us know, where are you at? What can we do? How could we support it? And do we have enough people there to get something started? Because really there's two parts of our GMTSS. There's established that we have already, and then there's the unestablished, which we're looking to expand on. And when we look at the country and the world now, we see pockets. We see pockets that are doing great, and then we see pockets where we could get this system back up and running again. You know, it's funny, I look at what's been going on with like Colton Whited. I mean, he and his wife, I mean, what an incredible job they've done. They came into an area with no GMTSS, zero. Started doing home meetings, started doing one-on-ones, built big businesses, large meetings in the home. I remember Lisa getting a call, "Hey, what do we do? We've got like 45 people trying to come to a home now." She said, "We better look at getting a UBP going here." They get a UBP going. The UBP leads to 100 people at a UBP, which leads to a local seminar. Now, how did this all occur? Rule number one, the money's in the plan. They're building hard. And if you're in the homes, it's funny with the GMTSS because I always tell people think I have to have a meeting to be successful, but really you need the meeting when you become successful because you're building so much in the homes and you have so much going on that we need to put that together so we can get that assembly of people together. We have something called a heat map, and a heat map is relatively new that we've got at the company. And what this heat map allows us to do is to search and look for different areas in the world where we see a population of people. Dennis has a great example right now. Dennis is going to be supporting and working with James and Marion in the San Diego area because we ran a heat map on San Diego, and guess what we found? We had 419 active unfranchised owners in that San Diego area without a single GMTSS system there. No UBP, no local, no anything. So now we're working to put them together and be able to do that. So we can do that in any area. We can take a look. We can see what we have. We can at least let you know, is there enough there to get it supported? And it doesn't have to be big numbers to get a UBP going. I mean, if we have 15 to 20 people who will dig in and do it, I remember, and Andy, I know you'll remember this, getting teams together and saying, okay, let's all put in 20 or 30 bucks. And let's get 10 of us together, 15 of us together, and we'll have a meeting ready to go. And then we supported it, and we got it going until it got big enough to take care of itself as we did that. So the heat map will allow us to do certain things. But in my opinion, you can't be a leader if you're not part of the system. They go hand in hand. You lead from the front. Would you guys agree with me? I think one of the reasons when we see people on stage here, when we listen to JR and our heart goes out as he's speaking, is because he's always leading from the front, isn't he? He's always saying, I'll do what you do. You hear Fat Joe talking about going into Brooklyn or going into the Bronx where he shouldn't be going at some point. Why'd he do it? Because then he took away every excuse that couldn't be done. So what are our goals? Our goals are more UBPs, more people participate. We want to take, if we have one UBP now, we want to find where we can have 2 or 3 UBPs. Why? Because we know distance has changed over the last 10 years, last 15 years. The internet has changed everything. People don't want to drive an hour. They don't want to drive an hour and a half. They want it to be as close as they can. We want more people participating. More UBPs will lead to more local seminars, which will lead to more district conferences, more and larger regional conventions. I know we're on a mission to get in the West, in the Southeast, in the Southern, to get those regional conventions back to those areas and get them going strong again. And we've got the greatest leadership with those guys to be able to do that. Friday night, we are going to have Friday night, which is tonight, we're going to have a GMTSS breakout meeting. It's going to be over at the Hilton, 7:30 to 8:45 in the Concerto A and B room, and we're going to get your questions answered. If you are wondering, hey, I wonder if I could get something going in my area. What can I do to support? What do we need to do to get something going there? Please come to that. We're going to have our regional directors there, so we'll be able to answer it by region if there's a question that comes up that way. And we'll really do a great question and answer session to hopefully help all of you have a better understanding of this. If you can't make it, please send us either the question or what you're thinking about in terms of an area you'd like to see grow. Send that to the GMTSS at marketamerica.com. GMTSS@marketamerica.com, and we'll send that to the regional directors, and we'll get back to you with that right away as soon as possible. So this is a call to action. We want you to support or build a GMTSS area near you. Guys, I love the GMTSS. I hope you feel the same way. Let's take this thing, let's build it. Let's make our 25th anniversary so there are no seats available and sold out by the weekend, because that's part of what we do. Thank you very much.